What's good, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of the DJ's Take.
I'm Donnie.
And I'm James, and on this show, we discuss the music industry from a fan's point of view. Donnie, what are we getting into today?
We are going to be talking about authentic versus generic. What do we feel an artist is with a random list of names?
Yeah, Tim, are you just gathering a list of names?
We got a producer, an assortment of names, and you simple as give you the name, and you say authentic or generic.
Okay.
And why?
Okay. So this is like more pop genre because people will try to like stunt on pop and just view it all as generic.
Yeah, I would say if you're gonna pluck names from a area of music where you would probably think there are a lot of generic or authentic people you could choose from, it's got to be pop.
Pop.
I agree.
That's fair. All right, who you got first on the list?
All right, we have. This guy's name comes up a lot. We have Jason Derulo.
No, my guy, Jason Derulo.
So, Jason Derulo, it's not looking good for him. Did you see the TikToks of his performance recently?
Yeah,
It was struggling. And Jason Derulo is my guy.
He's my guy,
and it made me question, but at the same time, I don't take one sample size and allow that to determine if an artist is generic or not. I think Jason Derulo has been doing it a long enough time where I would say he's legit, like he's authentic, like he is a pop guy in his lane, and he's good at doing it. I think if he's writing his music, he's writing it well.
I definitely wouldn't view Jason Derulo as generic. I can see how someone would think that because it's very commercialized, but I actually think he's kind of like original for his lane. Like there's not really like a guy like him who sings like that kind of pop.
I agree.
Like him, it's like him and Flo.
He would be like Charlie Puth.
Yeah,
it would almost be in his lane, I would say.
Exactly. And like the man will drop a hit, like it's hit, and he can dance. He actually can sing well. He can
perform.
Like he can sing well, and he consistently has hits year after year after year. He's not like really an albums guy. Like his albums aren't gonna do numbers.
You want to also another thing I give him credit for, not being fossilized.
100%.
Like he's with the movement. Like if it's TikTok, he's on it. If there's he's
not looking corny.
Yeah,
not looking corny. So yeah, authentic for you.
Yeah, authentic.
Authentic for me, Jason Derulo.
I would say one thing criteria for this is, do they seem to follow a formula that most people in their genre of music follow? You know, do they sound like the people before them, or do they put a unique spin on it where as soon as you hear the music hit, you're like, oh, that's Jason Derulo, or that is Chris Brown, or that's it. Like, you know what I mean? That's a one thing. If you hear a person's song, you're like, man, that sounds like the last 4 songs I heard, then like to me that's like a telltale sign that you're generic and not authentic.
Yeah, I also think Donnie's biased because he thinks he looks like Jason Derulo. So
I don't think I look like Jason Derulo, and we would say the Donnie from the past.
Donnie from the past.
Back in like college, people would compare me to Jason Derulo. But I had a common face. People think I look like a lot of people.
You do.
So.
All right, next on the list we have Taylor Swift.
That's authentic as you can get.
As you can get, that's a bit much. As you can get,
her nobody has
like soul music, Luther Vandross, people like
that.
That's
we
like
said pop.
As you can
as
get.
Far,
we said
as far as pop.
We said as far as pop. We didn't say all that.
Okay.
But it's just like her writing alone puts her in her own lane and category.
I will agree and say that she's not generic. Just she's not generic, but I can see how she's had the most generic moments in songs that I think that have been successful. Like there's no other more generic song than Me, like the song Me. She doesn't even perform it at her tours, like because the fans hate it so much, that song Me. Tim, I'm gonna say it was a special song. So she performed it once. Not at the Eras tour.
I'm pretty sure it was one of her special
Well,
songs.
I'm saying it's not in the show
it's
set.
Not in the set.
Show set. Because I saw someone say that. Tim, this is not a joke. You think I'm trolling you. This is one of the lyrics on it. Hey kids, spelling's fun. Like it's just not it. And I'm not even hating. That's just what the Swifferjets tell me. Yeah, that's what they tell me.
I wouldn't even remember.
But I don't.
Swifferjets?
That's what they tell me. They say they hate Me. And then you have Shake It Off. But I will say, she's not generic. Huh?
Shake It Off is fire.
Fire. Not generic. So authentic for you, obviously.
Absolutely.
Authentic for me too.
I will say when she comes up with something, it seems like she's like keeps in mind like, okay, this will be good for a movie. This will be good for a commercial.
Which is smart.
very
I'm not mad at
intelligent.
her.
Yeah.
I'm
And
not
then
mad
we
at her.
also got to think of when we say authentic. Taylor
like, we
Swift
can't
has been in
confuse that
country.
with
like
generic.
Love Story doesn't sound like anything else. It sounds like country. Then when you get to Reputation, it's completely different. Then you get to Folklore at Evermore, which is completely different. So she has very different sounding songs. Nothing is ever the same.
Do you think people can become generic versions of their own self?
I do.
Yes.
I do.
Where they're like, I know a formula that works. I just do.
Yes.
And that's what I think personally.
Yes.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it. That's how I feel about Drake. I think Drake has become a generic version of himself.
Yeah,
Okay.
a caricature.
A caricature,
Yeah.
caricature of himself.
I
He's just
can
like
see
he has
that.
the hits he hits in every album.
see that.
He has the notes he hits in every album.
And Taylor Swift is aware. She says that herself that she can be that way. So
Yeah.
she understands.
I think
I mean,
as
you don't
long
want to
as
steer too far from it.
no,
Obviously.
I think
no,
you
that's
gotta
just
take
smart
the
branding.
recipe
At the
of
end of the day, you gotta
success.
have branding.
And yeah. But I think Taylor Swift did take big swings, like when she went through his Reputation and he went through hip hop. You know,
I will say that those are that's my favorite Taylor Swift is 1989 and Reputation because it was the most different out of her catalog. When you hear a Taylor Swift record, for the majority, it's like this sounds like a Taylor Swift record. That's why I really like 1989 Reputation.
Meghan Trainor, that's the next on the list.
Meghan Trainor. I want to hear what you think about this.
generic.
That's offensive to me.
She's generic, bro. Let's be real.
I think that Meghan Trainor is like the top of this bubblegum pop genre. I want her to be, she's up top for me personally. I know she's not on top numbers
All her
wise.
songs sound the same.
They don't though, is the thing. She has a signature doo-wop sound, so that's like the all about the bass, lips are moving kind of records. Then she goes into 2000s dance pop. No doesn't sound like anything else in her body
I
of work.
haven't listened to it.
Yeah, that was.
I
And then
listened to it.
if I was you, I want to be Me Too. Like those are all.
I just think
records.
she's generic. I feel like whenever her music plays, like it reminds me of Barbie, like fake plastic.
Fake.
Like it's just that's not who she is, right? Like this can't be who you are.
You are.
Happy all the time, smiling, glaring.
That's the thing. That's what you think, but in her songs, she's extremely vulnerable in it. Like I Made You Look is extremely vulnerable in that. And then she has songs like I'm Gonna Love You, I'm Gonna Lose You, and I will see you're underestimating her pen game. Like on
Her
that
pen
song,
is impeccable.
her pen game is actually strong.
I'm
She
not
wrote
saying she
lyrics.
doesn't write hits. She write hits.
She has a song Don't I Make It Look Easy where she's saying that's addressing what you just said, where she's saying you don't even know that I'm crying behind the scenes, but I make it look easy when I'm singing, when I do what I do. She addresses all that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a deeper dive into her music. I know at one point in time, your artists, we usually pick artists of who we think is gonna be successful.
I
You
did.
chose Meghan Trainor, and of course, I stayed with Taylor Swift.
I did.
Even though that was an easy pick.
I did.
So, yeah.
I did. It's because she just was so different at the time for the pop world. Like this is 2014 that she was coming out, so it was still very much you got to be stick skinny, blonde, and perfect. And she came out with all about
Hey,
that babe.
Lizzo out here killing.
And she came out with all about, but she paved the way for Lizzo.
Speaking of which, next on the list, Lizzo.
Oh, Lizzo's next.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we might as well jump on that. Authentic as could be. She is a
Really?
dog. Oh my God! Like she's talented.
Yeah.
Let's be real. I can't stand her. She annoys me, but she's talented.
She's definitely talented.
Talented. And I
She's
think her
literally can play an
songs are-
instrument.
Yeah. And I think her songs are. It doesn't follow one formula. I think it's just she's all over the place. Sometimes it sounds like that old. I think her first song, I forget what it's called. Excuse me, but it's like it sounded like an older type of music.
Good.
Like Radiohead. Was that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all shit.
Yeah.
It sounded like somebody I know. I don't. So
Yeah, I definitely think that she's definitely a breath of fresh air in the pop lane.
yeah, for sure.
And definitely her brand itself is authentic. Like
Yeah.
it's truly hers. And
She's dope.
again, I can see all the artists that we're naming. I can see on the surface why people would assume they're generic.
Yeah.
just because they
They have
such-
gimmicks they follow.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
Formulaic
It's not even
sounds.
gimmicks. It's just like once you get labeled something, it's kind of hard to deviate from it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, if it's something you are, like you said, I was like, oh, she's always happy all the time.
yeah.
Well, and like Taylor Swift, you're like, oh, she's always breaking up with men. And this,
Yeah,
okay.
people seem to get annoyed when somebody it seems like they're more famous for something other than their skill set.
Yeah, and that is Lizzo.
Yeah, and Lizzo is like,
She
she's
definitely
become
does.
bigger than her own music.
She's more of a personality.
Yeah,
at
like
this point.
and she's also a point of contention amongst people. You know, she's become almost like a, not political, but in a sense,
She's politicized.
yeah, like she's politicized. Like she's becomes a point of, some people believe that she is glorifying being that size. Some people think that she's just living her truth and trying to make the best out of a bad situation. Some people think that she is her own worst enemy with being that size, and she can do something about it. But if she has the mindset that she has, that she won't get out of it, because if you're satisfied with yourself, then how will you become better? And then there's those on the other side that say, hey, all that stuff comes secondary, because we have to worry about mental health first.
I think the controversy when it comes to Lizzo and the size is completely ridiculous. And when you have guys, Big Pun, Fat Joe, Biggie Smalls, that are out here, like, that were out here decades before Lizzo and actually had died because Big Pun died because of obesity, and like other artists, like I think it's unfair to comment on a woman's weight.
I'll give that to you, because I was going to say, well, I think it's the outlandishness of it, but then at the same time, when I think of Rick Ross, you know,
DJ Khaled,
yeah, it's
like
I think the biggest
let
thing
people
is
do what they do.
I think the biggest thing is something about Biggie Smalls and Big Pun. Like, women like big dudes like that. Whereas
men like big women. Drake said, "I like my women's BBW,"
but it's not. But it's not like as common as
it's
the
not
other way
popular
around.
to do like that.
Like,
So,
women don't have a like, if you were to do a poll, men have a way more of a problem with women who are obese, quote unquote, than women have a problem with men that are obese.
It's funny because
even if you look at sitcom television shows, the women are always perfect shape. The man is always big, fat, out of shape.
I think it's a society thing, and I think that men are scared to really like what they like, because and I think most of the men that cheat on their wives end up cheating with a woman that's a little bit BBW or thicker,
or just different than what they're having.
Yeah, so you know, it really seems to be like that's the case.
And at the end of the day is, she's a great performer and a great song.
Yeah, and she has a primary care physician for that. Like, that's nobody's business. He can discuss her mental health and her weight. So
exactly,
I try to keep that out of it when I judge her.
Exactly. We got any more?
Yeah, we got. I'll just name off these last two. We got Harry Styles and Olivia Rodrigo.
Okay.
Harry Styles is authentic in an artistic soul. When I look at him, I think of Beatles. I think of Elton John. He brings a lot of artistry to him, and I like him. He's good.
Now, would you say One Republic is generic, or not One Republic? Oh my goodness.
One Direction.
One Direction is generic.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I don't.
So
think
maybe that's
that,
the confusion.
that they knew it. Everybody knows.
It's very hard
They
for
were
a boy
following-
band to
all
not
boy
be generic.
boys follow the
The formula.
The formula,
Because it gets you money.
absolutely. I think the one boy band that maybe shied away with us a little bit would be, of course, we got Boyz II Men, and them. They're their own. They're their own entity. They're like the greatest to do it in my
Exactly.
opinion. But like, it was Backstreet Boys. Like, they wanted to be like Boyz II Men.
Yeah.
You know, so they were a little bit different. But yeah, everybody follows that formula.
The thing is, the reason why it's, in my opinion, it's so generic, the boy bands, is because the groups are put together and created by the industry. They're not like
literally Simon Cowell. On
They're
X Factor.
They're not like just, hey, me and my four buddies just popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And we're gonna say it's not usually like
And
It's
usually,
crazy.
And usually it gets dismantled. Like, say if they come in as a group, they're like, we don't want him, we want him and him.
Exactly.
The rest of you kick rocks. So
And it's crazy because with One Direction, like, Zayn is so unique
They're
and
all
like
artists.
good, and then Harry Styles.
maybe
is
that's
good.
why they wanted to take a step
Yeah,
away,
they were like,
because
we
they were
wanna
like,
do our
we're
own
being
thing.
withheld from our art. We're just being told to sing, you light up my world like nobody. You know, like, whenever they have more to bring to the game than that. So
I definitely like Harry Styles, though. I definitely think he's authentic. Olivia Rodrigo, on the other hand, it's just,
I think it's generic.
I think it's literally. Now, I will say, before I say what I'm saying, she's at the time was like 18, 19-year-old girl singing music. She ain't singing music for me. So like it's hard for me to judge and critique it, but if I am, it's exactly what I envision Kids Bop to be. Like a Kids Bop soundtrack. I just don't understand.
When I first heard of her coming to the scene, it's my niece, of course. So, and I heard she came from the new High School Musical, which I'm going to resent that because I'm a High School Musical fan. So I resented her a little bit, and I try to not be biased when I'm judging her. But the honest truth is, like you said, I really can't connect with a child when it comes to her points of view and what she's going through, because I'm really honestly almost disconnected from that part of the youth, what they see in it. Because even the song Driver's License, when I say, I'm like, I have my driver's license for like 15 years now. I don't even, what am I listening to this for? So so great artist, wonderful. Like, I'm proud to see her doing what she's doing.
I'm definitely like not mad. Like, get your money. It's something a little different, because I will say she's bringing back that Avril Lavigne kind of like sound. So like kudos to her. Hopefully she evolves into like a different kind of artist, that will.
I think she needs to find her own path. I think she's riding on the wings of other great artists such as Taylor Swift, like you said, Avril Lavigne. And and I think she was a kid that was influenced by many artists. So that's what you're getting. And if you even think about her career was started by another career. She's Gabrielle Montez, which is originally Vanessa
Which
Hudgens.
makes me so upset, because it's like, remember Vanessa Hudgens? She tried to get her little music career off the ground, and I was rooting for her. Sneaker Night, I was like, come on. Bro. So I'm like, this should be Vanessa Hudgens' career.
Vanessa got done wrong.
Shout out to Vanessa, though.
I think that this is off topic now, but I think that stems from there being more avenues and gateways to be able to break out from the stereotypical Disney. Like back then, they didn't have the TikToks and the things to be able to be an influencer and have their own personality outside of Disney.
100%.
Exactly.
100%. Also, the stigma. The streaming services have changed the game completely on typecasting because
absolutely
the money aspect of it, because all these actors, the top end actors and stuff that didn't want it, they thought it was beneath them to do television shows and stuff. All of a sudden Netflix and Hulu and stuff like, we're gonna offer you $6 gajillion to do this
it's
TV
true
show. And the next thing you know, you got this A-list actor doing a TV show that was like literally sacrilege back in the day.
And even that just movies that don't even make sense. You're like, hold on, Jamie Foxx is on this random movie,
and that just began like a rolling downhill of breaking all those traditional norms. So,
and I will say, as far as Olivia Rodrigo compared to Vanessa Hudgens, I will say Disney back in the day, you could not do anything. So Vanessa Hudgens did Sneaker Night. So if you were like our age now, listen to Sneaker Night, you're like, get out of here, little girl. But the Disney Channel kids now, Olivia Rodrigo was talking about drinking in the UK and stuff and all that stuff. I was like, what? Disney loosened the reins. So like she could talk about more grown up topics.
Which is more money for them at the end of the day. So I don't understand why they would ever gag order there.
But let us know in the comments, guys. Do you agree with our takes, or do you think that we got it wrong and some of these artists are pretty generic?
And if you do think we're wrong, change your opinion.
Because we right. All right, guys. We're out of here. We'll see you at the next one.